Why is it that we keep doing this investment management stuff? I mean, who wants to throw themselves into this pool of money and having to deal with all this responsibility? And imagine having hundreds of millions of dollars you're responsible for every single day, that your clients are relying on that.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has their own ideas of how things go, and there's not one right or wrong or good or bad. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. There's value in seeing all sides. It's natural for all of us to kind of get dug into that, oh, I'm not going to listen to him because he's a certain political persuasion. We had a client that recently left our firm because a representative fired that client. And our representative has a very certain set of political views that are extremely strong. That's really where the rift came.
Right.
You could look at the representative and you could say, wow, his political views really got in the way of that client relationship. The biggest problem that I see right now with investors is... Hey, Jason.
Hey, John.
Hey, great to have you here today.
Thanks for having me on your Mother Should I Trust the Life I've Built podcast.
Yeah, I think it's a kind of an interesting way to approach the world today. I see a lot of YouTubers talk about financial stuff, but I don't see a lot of firms talking about it in a way that's really gets relevant to how maybe an investor is going to be. Right?
So Portfolio Medics started in 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
You and John Billy, why did you start Portfolio Medics? What was the original goal?
To be honest with you, if I could have found a firm that was like this, I never would have started one. The reason we did it was because we looked and looked and looked and searched as advisors to find something that we could resonate with, where we could go authentically to clients and talk to them in a way that we didn't feel like we were conforming to someone else's system. And we just couldn't find it. So it forced JB and I to go out and do our deep research. And after all those years of working together and thinking about it, we just came up with the decision of, it's time. We have to do our own.
And you started off the firm right before the crash of 2009.
Yeah, well, 2007.
2007.
Right? So yeah, we had the 2007, 8, and 9 market downturn.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd been in the business prior to that. So we've seen a lot of different market cycles. We saw the 2000 issue when it happened. You know, I got in the industry, the financial services industry, back then in 1994, after I got out of the military. John Billy was in earlier than that. But coming through the 2000 crash, I still didn't have my securities license, but I was still working with clients on the financial side. And when I saw the 2000 crisis hit and people just got creamed, just trashed,
mm-hmm.
big firms,
mm-hmm.
brokers get killed, advisors, their clients get killed. I just thought there has to be a different way.
Right.
There's got to be something different. And so digging in and looking at how the wealthy families did it was a key. How they navigated through it, how they were able to somehow make it through and get to that next point. That's really when John and I got together and we're like, you know what, let's see if we can bring the same thing to people.
You know, it's the correlation between why and how you started Portfolio Medics is the same, along the same lines with how we started Floyd Nation.
Yeah, that's been a great project, hasn't it?
It is.
You know, for those that are out there that are listening, they might not know. Jason and I have this pretty fun project that we're in. We actually did a podcast on Monday about that, which is really fun.
That was a load of fun.
So what is Floyd Nation?
So Floyd Nation is a Pink Floyd tribute band.
Yeah.
That we have 7 owners, 7 partners, and on stage there's 9 people total. What you're seeing is 9 people authentically performing and presenting themselves. And it's the same principle. When you can't find the solution that you're looking for, Floyd Nation is the band that we would be a fan of if we weren't musicians, because it's being delivered in the manner that we envision in our head, and it's the bar of excellence is set to where we imagined it to be.
The reason we started Portfolio Medics was the same thing. You know, as Pink Floyd fans, you know, you've been a musician your whole life.
Yes.
And you've seen tons of tribute bands and you've watched them on YouTube and you've gone to the live shows. And one of the reasons that we started this Pink Floyd tribute band was because we felt that there wasn't anything out there that we actually wanted to go watch on a consistent basis.
Correct.
And we wanted to have that level, that bar set a lot higher.
Correct. And, you know, we met in 2017. So,
yeah.
And during that time, we had started the proof of concept, what became Floyd Nation.
Yep.
But it was that time period that we really got a master's degree in this field because of just by doing.
Yeah.
And which brings me to, you can have all the education in the world, but the alphabet that comes after your name that you could possibly get in financial services, are you really getting that for yourself, or are you getting that because you think clients need that?
It's funny when you talk about, like, we go back to the band thing real quick. Like, if we just slammed it together and didn't rehearse, what kind of product would we have?
It would be just like everything else out there.
And, we might have like one good song or one good night on the stage, and it's great.
Mm-hmm.
But what does that mean if you can't be consistent in the approach?
That means your track record will be all over the place.
Yeah.
That means...
And you see where I'm going on this, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. We're talking like, is we're investment managers. And I'm not talking just financial advisors. I'm saying what we do at our firm at Portfolio Medics is much different than your standard, your traditional planner.
Mm-hmm.
We are literally digging in and touching and moving the client's money in their accounts as a money manager should and would every day. I was actually talking to JB on the way over today to the studio, and he said, yeah, I talked to one of our reps, and we had the client on the phone, and the client said, wow, he's like, I was looking at my account, and I'm looking at all the movement and the things that you're doing. You're actually managing the account. I'm like, yeah, I guess that's the word for it. It's a little different approach than just like setting and forgetting, for sure. But it really comes back down to, like, as we're on stage and we're performing, all of that back end work that happens behind the scenes, the audience is just sitting there watching a performance, and they're thinking, oh, these guys just get together and they just play.
Right.
But what actually happens behind the scenes?
Loads of work that is incredibly tedious that nobody gets to see. And it's thankless, and it's just there, and it's always there. But when you are living out your passion and living your calling, it's not tedious. It's just the way. By building and keeping Portfolio Medics running in the fashion that it is, it's not because you're driven by anything other than a passion to help people.
It's kind of the same thing, man. When we're, again, Floyd Nation, I keep coming back to it because I'm so passionate about music and the performance and the connection.
Yeah.
And I always think, why is it that we keep doing this investment management stuff when there's so much? I mean, who wants to throw themselves into this pool of money and having to deal with all this responsibility? And I mean, imagine having hundreds of millions of dollars you're responsible for every single day, that your clients are relying on that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, put yourself on stage.
Yeah.
And you're standing in front of thousands of people every single night who are wanting that experience that they can remember for the rest of their lives.
They're wanting an authentic experience.
It's an authentic experience. And so when I really look at what we do with the band, and when I look at what we do with Portfolio Medics, it's really one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't see that we can get that same experience by going as an advisor, as an investment professional,
to a big
going
wirehouse.
to a big wirehouse firm that has a very set methodology of doing things, their system, their way of doing it.
The jacket you have to wear.
The tie you have to put on, the face you have to shave every day, the suit you have, the $5,000 suit, the corner office with the glass windows. I want to be real.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to be real.
Yeah. I tell this to everybody I meet, and especially, when I'm talking to prospective reps. I wouldn't be the man I am today without my wife. And John, I wouldn't be the professional I am today without you. So, side note.
Oh.
No, I mean, it's the truth. This is the first opportunity I've had in my life where my life has completely changed from when we met in 2017 to where we are now, because you gave me an opportunity. You didn't give me anything. You just gave me an opportunity. And I've taken that opportunity and run with it as best I can with the tools that I've been given.
The crazy thing about it is, and I find this with a lot of the advisors that come to the firm from other firms, is they're looking for a thing.
Mm-hmm. And
the resonance between all the advisors that I see that comes to the firm is that they want the freedom and flexibility.
Yes.
And they want to be allowed to do things that they're not allowed to do where they are right now.
Mhm.
They want to be able to create something bigger and stronger. And to be honest with you, it's not just advisors, it's clients.
Yeah.
Once there's a bit of education and clients start to understand the differences of philosophy and the approach,
Mhm.
you quit looking at the big solo, the one night stand, and you start looking at the trust,
Mhm.
and you start looking at the track record, and you start looking at the relationship.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, everything else that hits and everything that comes your way, that relationship is what gets you through it all.
Yeah.
And it's with the band performing on stage. It's the same thing. It's our
Correct.
relationship with our fans. I mean, go to our fan page, man.
It's
We have like 50, 60,000 followers right now.
Mhm.
And it's amazing
It
to
is.
see.
It is.
And the thing is, you go look at Portfolio Medics and we're managing thousands of client accounts and hundreds of millions of dollars. And it's the same fan experience. There's nothing better than waking up to a phone call from a client saying, thank you.
Yeah.
That's just like a round of applause. But the cool thing is investment professionals, we're not necessarily looking for those applause. We're looking for the end goal for our clients was making them secure.
Yes.
And doing what we can in a system that's so rigid to think a little bit outside the box and to come at them as naturally and authentically as we can. Everyone has their own ideas of how things go, and there's not one good or right or wrong or good or bad. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. There's value in seeing all sides.
Mm-hmm.
And until you can see all sides of a situation, you really can't make a good decision. You know, sometimes I'll see, you know, and it's natural for all of us to kind of get dug into that, oh, I'm not going to listen to him because he's a certain political persuasion.
Or he has a beard.
But I'll tell you what, yeah, or he has a beard, right? I see it a lot. Believe me, the comments that I get on Facebook and YouTube would be enough to curl your toes. I mean, really, seeing somebody that looks like me in our industry,
Mm-hmm.
you know, what's the latest comment that I got? I bet he makes really great moonshine. So that was a good one, right? And
That's a great one.
A lot of which I appreciate because I'm like, yeah, well, not only do I appreciate a good bourbon, but I also appreciate some real quality investment portfolios too. You know what I'm saying? With life, I think that we tend to get stuck in this pleasing other people. And we get stuck in this conforming to a system that was designed for somebody else other than us.
Yes.
And once you can step back from that, and it's really hard to do.
Yes.
It's a matter of being able to take criticism with grace
Mm-hmm.
and not anger.
Yes.
And that's been a huge challenge for me. I'm to that point where I can easily take it. And matter of fact, not only take it, but become enlightened by a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
We had a client that recently left our firm, and it was because a representative fired that client, interestingly enough. And our representative has a very certain set of political views that are extremely strong. And that's really where the rift came.
Right.
But the interesting thing is that you could look at the representative and you could say, wow, his political views really got in the way of that client relationship. If you're a different political persuasion than him, you know, the reason he fired that guy was probably not for the right reason.
Right.
But interestingly enough, it turns out that after digging into the relationship even more, that it didn't have anything to do with politics at all. We felt that it could have, but it wasn't that at all. It was the way that the client was actually behaving as a human. And it was the right call to let that client go.
Wow.
Which is interesting. So even though you might not agree with someone's politics or look or lifestyle or views, you have to approach this life and understand that they're coming to their specific viewpoint because of their belief, and you owe it to yourself to listen.
Yeah.
And you owe it to yourself to open your mind and explore the possibilities, because those things that we feel are rock solid right still need questioned every single day.
Trust but verify.
And the best trust but verify, old Ronald, right? I'm not even gonna do a Ronald. If my buddy Brian was here, I'd have him do the Ronald Reagan impression. So that would be awesome. But you know, the thing is in life, we have to find the person that we align with.
Mm-hmm.
And in fun and marriage
Mm-hmm.
and business relationships as bandmates.
Yes.
How many bands have been destroyed behind the scenes because the musicians don't get along? Or the musicians, they can't handle management?
Just about everyone.
About every one of them.
Mhm.
It's crazy. I mean, look at all the lawsuits.
Yeah.
What would you say with Floyd Nation, our relationship is with bandmates?
With the bandmates, it's like a family.
Why?
Because we're all vested.
We chose each other.
Yeah.
It wasn't because we auditioned and got slammed together in a setting.
No, I mean, yeah, we chose.
We chose each other.
Yeah.
It's not like we got on a tour bus and, hey, this is Bill, this is Harry, this is Tom. Why were we able to make the choice?
Because we decided to start our own venture.
Exactly.
Because we decided to own it, which is a difficult decision to make because it's not an easy decision. It's not an easy path.
The risk is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, risk is crazy.
It still is.
Still
for
is.
The band. I mean, it really is.
It is. But what we've shown so far with the band, with the quality, with the consistency, with the results, the responses we get from our fans, we can't stop. The responses that I was talking to a client on Saturday or Sunday this weekend because he works during the week and he was worried that he was possibly going to lose his job because he didn't get invited to a retreat. So he pulled out some money out of his account to be safe, which was okay. Turns out he's gotten a raise. He's in charge of some more stuff, and it's even better than it was before. But the fact that I called him on a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon just to check in means everything to him.
It's all about that. It's just the connection and the true care and the compassion and being able to be who you are and not having to work on a time clock.
Yes.
And having the freedom to do what you want to do. And, Portfolio Medics did the same thing back in the day when we started. We have certain philosophies that are just kind of unheard of in the industry as far as investing goes.
Like what?
They're frowned on. We'll talk about that in a little bit too, which is interesting. But the thing is that we faced a lot of hurdles as well to begin with. Small firm, nobody knew who we were, no footprint, no impact, no representatives. And today we've grown it to over $500 million in assets under management. Management is the key.
There's a difference between collecting assets and managing.
There is. And a lot of advisors don't manage money. They collect assets under management of clients and then they service the clients, but they're not actually managing the money based on market cycles. It's a little more technical to get into. But yeah, there's definitely a difference. But at the end of the day, having the same feel as the band community builder exercise, I'll call it, is the same thing that we've done with Portfolio Medics. Creating a home for advisors and investors and the advisors' clients being the investors, that we can accomplish a goal for them that they're going after in their lives, whether it's retirement or accumulating assets, whatever it's going to be. But what a great company, man.
It is. So of the reps that you have, what are some of the traits that you've seen from some of the higher performers in the firm that you would suggest somebody pick up getting into this business? Yeah,
it's a matter and we're going to dig into that in a little bit, but it's just about freedom.
Okay.
It's all about having freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom to be who you are, freedom to be how you want to talk, how you want to dress, how you want to look, and not conforming to the industry standards. So if you get to the root of what an investor looks like at our firm and what a representative looks like at our firm, it just boils down to plain old, good old freedom. I'm glad we kind of dug into the human side of things. I don't think a lot of advisors really talk about that. And I hope that if someone's listening, that they can see who we are for who we are and our passion and our desire to make sure that we're helping as many people as we can in whatever they're trying to do. If that just resonates with one people, I think we're going to say success on today.
Yeah, totally.
And how much have we talked about like investing or
Zero.
Money, or does that even matter really?
No. Investments are the end goal.
It does. That it possibly could.
But that's down the line.
But I hear like the word success a lot too.
So what does success mean to you?
Exactly. What does it mean? Is like, does it really mean anything? It's different for everybody. But
for me, success is being able to do events like this on a Thursday morning.
Yeah. and waking up and just having a nice conversation. So that's a little bit on the human side of stuff. Let's get into the markets a little bit.
Cool.
Because I think, anyone that's going to chime in or tune into this, an advisor, an investor, they're going to want to know a little bit about our thought process or philosophy on, we're talking about being different, right?
Yeah.
So, when I start thinking about the markets and the stock markets in general, I follow an awful lot of YouTubers that are financial YouTubers,
Mm-hmm.
F-tubers, I guess you can call them. They're the Dave Ramseys of the world, the money guys.
Mm-hmm.
They get into talking a lot about debt and talking a lot about
Product.
saving, sometimes product. A lot of the non-financial YouTubers will talk about gold or investing in real estate or
Bitcoin.
What are your thoughts on this phrase, passive income? Let me just ask you, and I know you already, do you see yourself passive?
No.
The craziest part to me is that when I think of the phrase passive income, kind of freaks me out a little bit, because the first thing I think of, and if I just close my eyes and I picture it in my head, is this guy sitting on a couch with a bag of chips watching reruns on Nickelodeon.
While the AI bots in the internet tubes are doing all the hard work and heavy lifting behind the scenes.
And creating companies for him, sitting there on the couch and he's waiting for the food to come because everything is automated, and now he can be as passive as he wants to be watching the
That
tube.
is where a soul goes to die.
That is where a soul goes to die. When I think about the world right now and I think about the market cycles we're in, and I start hearing the word passive and I hear used with the phrase passive investing, I want to scream. When I think of where we are right now in this economy, and it's evident no matter where you look, you just go to the grocery store at the base level. Go to the grocery store, buy your groceries, tell me what that bill was compared to 5 years ago.
Correct.
Go to the gas station. I drive a pickup truck. It's a diesel pickup truck, and diesel fuel it's more expensive than gas right now. And it's a big tank. It's a dually. It's a 1-ton dually, but it's almost 10 years old. It's a lot of money to fill up that truck.
But it's such a nice truck.
But it's so expensive and if it's expensive for me, it can't be any different for anybody else.
Well, it depends on the need that it solves. It could be expensive, but if you're hauling around, a race car or like roofing supplies, it's just the way.
Okay, now we just established the fact that things are expensive.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
For the band, we bought a new Mac Mini for front of house.
Yes.
To be able to record, right?
Mm-hmm.
But did we buy it new?
No.
What do we do?
We buy it used off of eBay.
Refurbished. Because why?
Because it's
smart thing to do.
Yes.
Right. You still have to be thrifty even if you make money.
Right.
And you still have to watch the dollars that come and go.
Correct.
However, when you start applying this to current where we are right now, this is where we become, as portfolio medics, money managers, much different thinking, because now we start applying history. Right now in the markets, right now in the economy, things we know are extremely expensive. Housing, I mean, I was watching, I don't know this statistically, I forget, I don't even know what the number is. It's crazy. The amount of money you have to be able to make to get a mortgage in this country is insane. It's insane. And then you pile kids on top of that, and you pile gasoline, and you pile food, and all the other stuff. Water, I mean, hell, even a gallon of water. Go buy a gallon of water. Should that cost as much as it costs?
No.
First of all,
no.
It's crazy, really.
No,
what we live
I get
in.
those 2.5 gallon, purified Pure Life jugs.
Yeah.
They're $5 a piece.
My biggest issue that I have, though, is that I'm a historian.
Mm-hmm.
You're the type of guy, and I know I've known you for years. You're always thinking ahead. You're looking to solve problems based on future issues that might come up. You're always looking to excel based on the future.
Yeah.
That's your sense of time. Where we're much different is that my sense of time is more of a historical perspective. So I love historical dramas. I love, that's my thing. Revolutionary War, big deal for me. I love those eras. You're looking very, very forward. As a money manager, though, and as someone who's dealing with trading and providing for our clients and representatives' futures, I got to look at history as a guide.
That's true.
So let's talk about current market. It's very expensive.
Mhm.
Everything's expensive. Let's apply scenarios to it though.
Okay.
Let's say we had another COVID happen, 2020.
Mhm.
But instead of the government coming to bail it all out to support the economy, that's what they did, by the way. You know,
How many trillions?
trillions, just trillions of debt.
Mhm.
And this isn't like money that doesn't have to be paid back. 2020 happened and there was bailout after bailout after bailout to get us propped back up. This is a big part of the reason why we are where we are right now.
Mhm.
So let's go back. That happened in the 2020 era. What if the government didn't bail it out in 2020? Let's go back to rewind to 2008, 7, 8, 9. We had that big market downturn.
Mhm.
What would have happened if the government didn't bail that out? Because let's rewind back to the year 2000 during the tech crash. What would have happened if the government didn't bail that out? You see what I'm saying? See where I'm going here? The biggest problem that I see right now with investors is the fact that they don't look back far enough to understand what's happened to us and why we're in what we're in right now.
So complacency, mental complacency, is why we see these cycles over and over again.
You know, it's kind of like Battlestar Galactica. If you go back and watch that,
Okay.
It's cycle after cycle. It keeps repeating itself time and time and time again, but humans never learn from it.
Right.
It never learned, like ever. It's just cycle after cycle keeps happening and keeps pounding everybody back in the dirt.
For how many seasons?
Forever. I mean, it just on and on. It just put it on repeat and it just lasts for infinity. I know that everyone thinks that, okay, it's okay if the market crashes
Mm-hmm.
because it always comes back. There's a point in time, though, where if you go as far back to the Roman era, that there was a time where it just didn't come back again. Go on YouTube, start looking at some of the financial videos, and you'll see some of the doom and gloomers talk about it. But
it's so hard to watch the doom and gloom.
The doom and gloomers, look, the reason they're out there is to get clicks.
Yeah.
They're not there to give any advice. They might be trying to sell something in disguise. You know, a commercial of gold comes up or whatever it is. Gold is a whole nother thing to talk about. But where we are right now in the markets is a point to where my concern is that it's going to be so bad once it starts to go, especially if the government doesn't step in to bail it out again, that people will find themselves not able to buy themselves even a ticket to our show.
And that
would be a problem.
That would be a huge problem
for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a signal like the canary in the coal mine, right? When people can't afford things.
Right.
And we're starting to see that break down. Subprime, housing, record number of houses in the market in Florida.
Yeah. Isn't Cape Coral like the top 5 worst housing markets?
But when did we see this before? Well, last time.
Yeah.
It happened again.
Yeah.
And we're seeing, you got to listen to those doom and gloomers because there are nuggets in there, but you can't live your life like that.
Right.
You have to have flexibility. You have to be able to navigate through this. And what it boils down to is coming back to your individual situation and saying, what am I doing right now that's different than I did in 2008, that I did in 2020, that I did in 2000? What am I doing right now that's different?
And actually the truthful answer for that, John, is nothing. Because the way that the system is set up, with the majority of people investing in their company provided 401ks, they're so limited on what they're able to use as far as funds, investment styles, because of the laws that have come up through, the 40s and 30s, 40s and things like that.
Well, it's really about protecting the markets and really about a government as a whole, which I think we'll probably do. We should do a podcast on that. Again, questioning reality, saying, does that system fit for me? I'm not saying it's good or bad or right or wrong. It just is.
Mm-hmm.
But where are we getting our information from and who's making that decision for us, telling us that is either the right way or the wrong way to go?
Correct.
Where's critical thinking today, right? It's gone. It just doesn't exist.